Okay, for Carol. So Carol's mini, and we are recording. We're going into the stained glass for you right now. I'm going to flip this down so you can see the cards. And I'm flip this down so it records the cards. Okay. For Carol, what does she need to know? What is this about this standing that needs to happen for you? What is it about this standing? There's something that's like a trickle-down factor. There is this top of the pyramid energy that needs to be coming through. I've laid this in a pyramid shape. I often will follow the shapes in my reads, and I don't recall or know of a time that I last set up a pyramid. This is what's going on. Give me a second. We're looking at the base of this now. The Wheel of Fortune is asking you to change something. You've had all this energy before, but you haven't employed it. It's like you studied magic tricks, practice, but haven't been on stage. The Wheel of Fortune is asking you to do the magic, to actually perform what it is that's the big deal. The Two of Wands says baby steps are here. The Ace of Swords is talking about clarity. And here we have this beautiful, beautiful Four of Swords. There has been rest. Now, what is this base? This has been laid for a while. You're ready to pull off some kind of new magic that's big for you. Now, if you were to see the Magician and it were reversed and it were referencing someone else, it would be somebody that's manipulating or maneuvering, and that isn't necessarily bad. But when we're not aware of it, it feels really bad. This is asking you to actually be shrewd, be wise in creating the magic and maneuver something. Create a maneuver, create something where you're stepping out and stepping beyond. It is time to do your trick. It is time to pull some kind of new maneuver, and it's big. Now, in the next layer of the pyramid, what we're seeing is so beautiful. This Five of Wands. Now, this is beautiful. This is a lot going on all at one time, a lot of fire energy. Sometimes it's too many cooks in the kitchen. Sometimes it's too many chiefs that are in there. And my mom used to say it this way. It's probably not politically correct, but too many chiefs and not enough Indians is what she would say. Too many chefs and not enough people in the kitchen that are helpers, right? So you need to be in charge of what it is you want to pull off. Don't let somebody hijack your agenda. Don't be in competition with others. And don't let this, sometimes it's the energies of mean girls or just snipe and gripe. Don't let that get in your way. Don't let the petty shit get in the way of the overall goal. Six of Pentacles. The universe is trying to give you something beautiful and big here. And lots. Vignettes. Why am I getting vignettes? This vignettes is an old-fashioned word. Vignettes is like all of these scenes. We might see them like kids do dioramas in school, and they'll set it up, and maybe it's like something about the science fair, and they're doing a diorama of all the animals, or, you know, that kind of thing. But vignettes is coming up. Why am I getting this? It's looking through a photo album of time. Yeah, it's bringing a very specific picture. It's generational picture. There's more in the picture than you, there's the three women that are on this couch in the vignette that is coming through. Three women on the couch. There's two babies there, two little ones. This is something going on. And then in the background, this is taking us back. Early 1900s, as if the time frame could be in there. There's something generational. It's like these babies, the mama, the grandma, the great-grandma, all there. What is the lesson of strength that is being passed all the way across and down? There's a huge lesson of strength coming in for you now, and this is really interesting for you. It feels like the feminine strength is lifting, and passing, and the vignettes are there. I would encourage you that if you have old photos, old family photos, that would go back that far to take a look. There's something in there. It's like somebody's trying to get your attention, knocking, trying to get your attention. Yeah, this is what's going on. I'm not sure what that's about, but this is what's going on. It's crazy. Yeah, the vignettes, and then here. Now, this is gorgeous. This is the Eight of Cups. Now, this one, usually we see a person walking away. They've stacked all the cups, but they're walking away because something they're longing for or something they're missing is important. And if you look at this, instead of just a moon, it looks almost like an eye, like the human eye and the iris. It's asking you to focus, to look again, to see again. Then the High Priestess is what's on top of this. Hopefully you can see. High Priestess right here. I'm going to flip this down again. You'll see me flipping the camera a lot. I manhandle the phone a lot, but High Priestess energy. This is wise. This is the wise crown. This is something also. It could be something that's even tangible. That would be like the wise crown. This is something, yeah, I'm getting something that is out of time, passed through time. What's up with this? I want the second deck. What's up through this? This is a gift, an inherited gift, passed through time. When people talk about psychic gifts and skipping generations or being put on hold for a generation, this sometimes happens. This is a gift through time. Now, it may not be just like a psychic gift. That might be part of something that's the bow, the bow in the box. Unwrap, unwrap. What do we have here? The Queen of Coins, very, very, very aware of finances, money, resources, and how to use them to the best advantage. Knows her worth, knows her value, turns the tumbleweed to the Christmas tree. That's how I always say that. She knows exactly when it's Spaghetti-O days and when it's real spaghetti. She knows when it's fancy meatball time and when it's time to be thrifty. There is a gift of worth that needs to come through. There is a gift of love that's coming through. I'm back to the couch. I'm getting these two little pop, like pop on the little kid's head, just like little patting on the head. There's two little kids here patting on the head like this is great. Then going back through the generations again. There's a gift of time. It's actually been woven through all. It's woven through all. But some of the family have chosen to ignore or to not emphasize that gift, to shy away from it and go for a more societally acceptable gift. Sometimes our gifts come dressed up in different costumes. It feels to me that you are getting gifts, psychic gifts, and another gift that is coming through to understand the worth. And this is the time to unwrap that present. Unwrap it. This is something huge for you. Now, what else is coming through on this? I want to see what else is the other side of the pyramid. And it's so interesting. Like, I'm looking at this pyramid. I'll pull it down so you can see. Okay, woo! Yay ho! All right, so here's this other one. Now, this communicate freely. Remember, I was all hot on this? It's something about standing in your power, standing in your truth, standing up for the gift that you have. The vignettes are coming through again. Holy cow. You've got to go to that photo album and look again. There is something that is a contrast in there, and they want you to see the one that did it really old school, traditional ways versus not. I'm also getting the reference of when people started making bread versus sliced bread and convenience. There's something about the recent 3 generations back. So it would be you and then your mother, her mother, and her mother. That kind of time frame. How do you unwrap it? I do not know. Carol, I do not know. You need to compare and contrast. Look for the vignettes. I'm telling you, look for the photo album or these pictures that would have these women's, and look for the contrast in how they did it. They had the same gift of strength, the same gift in them, but they manifested it differently based on the comfort level of society of the time. Now, that's not to send you going through the past and judging. It's to send you through the past of understanding how they chose to play and operate and how they chose to use their gift. This is something now the time has come for you to choose wisely. Just start by looking in that picture book, whatever this is. Look through those vignettes. Ask for the one that comes through prominently to speak to you in your dream time. Ask for them to show up in your meditation. They may not show up immediately and at first, but there will be something. They will send you a sign. When my mom first crossed over, I would ask for a sign, and I wasn't even sure if I thought that maybe she could do that. I mean, I know, right? But she's gotten so snarky. She'll send me birds, and she'll send me birds. She'll send me roosters. She sent a bird right across my windshield one time when I was driving. And you will get where you can start reading this a little more. Ask for her to show up. And this feels very divine feminine. And ask for her to show up and show this strength. It doesn't feel like the mother's strength. It feels like the greats. So we may be even 4 generations back. It may be that not the mother, but the mother is the closest representation I could get. If we're doing that, we're doing 5 generations. Give me a second. Yeah, okay, so I'm taking this picture, and the two kids that I'm seeing here, if I'm seeing here, this would be you, this would be your mother, this would be your grandmother, this would be your great grandmother, this would be the great great. We've got 5 generations back. We're going to at least like 1900s time. I don't know what it's about. It feels like they're asking you to go back and get a snapshot of something almost before cameras were invented, which sounds like freaking bonkers, but that's what I'm getting. So go looking, start seeking and finding what the women, particularly in your family, did as their strengths and as their gifts, because there's something generational there. In some families, it's a gift of sewing. In some families, it's a gift of cooking or learning how to cobble together different kinds of foods and how to really make the most out of something. This is, you are being asked to make the most of your gift, and you're overdue to unwrap it. So this is something you can unwrap before Christmas over and over again. This is a gift of the heart, and it's a gift passed through time. That's complete. That's what I've got for that mini. Holy smokes. I love that for you. That's just straight up beautiful. No getting around the beauty in that one. I love it. All right, let me get some water and we'll see what's going on. And Kim, if you let me know who's next, that'd be great. Carol, track it down on both sides. Track it down on both sides. It's not like even if your parents are divorced or whatever, it's not like the ancestors on either side aren't going to try and root for you and cheer you on and do whatever they can to help you. You might be more in tune with one side. I'm more in tune with my mother's side than my dad's, but on occasion I'll see people from my dad's side of the family. So track down on both sides. Why not? It's not like there's a limit on how many gifts you can have. Your mom passed when you were 8. Yeah. Keep looking, keep looking. Keep looking, both sides, both sides. Ask them to come forward. They will come forward for you. No problem at all. No problem at all. Yeah. It is like a huge support squad on the other side wants you to move through this. And whatever this gift is that it's time to unwrap, if you think of a silver box with a red bow and pulling that strand, if you mentally visualize that, pull that strand before you go into your dream space. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. That will tell your mind. It'll remind you of this read. It'll tell your mind you're opening up the present. You're opening up the now. Okay. And you are so welcome. No problem. Yeah, it's going to be quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. All right. Okay. Amber, full. Amber, I saw it for a second and then it went somewhere. Full. Okay. Where is my relationship with Chris going, and general job advice if I'm picking? And this is a full. Where's your relationship with Chris going, and general job advice? Give me a minute to get your deck. You want it more serious than this, but this is what's coming through. That's just really wild. Wild. This is a deck that I love. It's very light-hearted kind of deck. I want to make sure I've got all of it and not the hamsters. It's the Panda deck, and I call it the Happy Panda. It might be the Way of the Panda, but I've got that. And this is something where you are taking yourself a little too seriously. So be aware that you don't have to have all of the answers. When you ask this kind of question, you might get some of the answers. And it's not because I can't get more, but it's because you're taking things a little too serious. Now let me look, and I want to see. What is the Cash App again? Oh, sweetie, let me do this before. It's the $, the Feisty Butterfly. So, okay, Amber, I want to find that question, how you had it, and I just saw it and went by. Where's your relationship with Chris growing? We're looking at that first, okay? I'm going to flip this down, and then we're going to go into career and job, and then if we need more decks, we're just going to go in more decks, okay? All right. So, Amber and Chris, where's your relationship with Chris going? There's an allowance that's coming through. There's an allowance, and I'm getting the image of a piggy bank, an allowance that bing, putting coins in the piggy bank. Old school, like a kid saving money. A kid saving an allowance for the energy to flow yields big rewards. We're getting both meanings of that word coming through. The allowance is coming through first with the question regarding Chris. Let's see where this is going for Amber and Chris. Okay, we've got the box 9 up here. This is kind of a Lenormand way of doing things in a box 9, but I want to see what's going on here. And this is almost like, if you can see it well enough, it's almost like looking at a tic-tac-toe board for me. So give me just a second. We've got the Two of Cups in the middle. It's going really good. Oh my gosh. Right in the heart of it. It's going really good. There needs to be friendship, kindred spirits, soulmate, equal offering. Okay? Not as an option. Some of the moving on from the past needs to happen. You've got the Two of Swords and the Ten of Swords, but strength is up top on this. Strength abounds. The Eight of Cups, the walking away from the past. Somehow someone is walking away from the past more towards this Two of Cups relationship. Access being granted. The Hierophant is in the house. It's going very well. It's going forward. Does it mean it's work-free? No. It means the friendship needs honored, and I would say that to anyone, but particularly in this case, the friendship, the playfulness, the joy needs to be in here. The serious needs to be taken off. Allowing your goofy selves to be goofy selves and just learning in love is huge for you right now. Queen of Swords. She's usually one that says, suffer no fools and cut the shit, but she can be perceived as the bitch, which is a bum rap for her, because she's right like 9 out of 10 times, maybe 9.5 out of 10 times. But she gets perceived as too abrasive. Be aware of this. You do not want to have misrepresentation, misunderstanding just because you're right about a thing or just because you're logic. Engage more of the play. If the Queen of Swords can engage emotion, and sometimes she is a really good friend with Queen of Cups, and there is a huge amount of silly that ensues. There was a friend of mine that we would both had this going on, and I was definitely the Queen of Cups, and she was definitely the more logical of the time. But the balance was there. When you allow for complementary balance of the Swords and Cups energy, you get huge fun adventure. This is what's being called for. Hanged Man, let go of uptight thinking. Whoever, which one of you that is, needs to do that. Let go of what was in the past. There's a new cup being offered, and it can't say it any bigger than this. A new cup's being offered. How do we see the tic-tac-toe lines going? Which one is the strongest line? And I would have to say it's the one down the center. It's not always the one down the center. When I do this as the 9-pack, I sometimes get a more prevalent line, just like if you were to do, tic-tac-toe 3 in a row. And this is the line that's coming through the strongest. The 8 of Cups, leaving something where you're longing for something in the past. Leave it in the past. Let it be away from your consciousness anymore. Let the Two of Cups, the friendship and the joy energy come in. Have the access to the higher learning, the higher tradition, the more fun going on, okay? That's what's coming on this side. I'm going to shift this just a little. You can see, hopefully, over here. Same deck, second deck. Now, if we see repeats, we're going to pay close attention. We're going to set this up in a little bit of a different way. I want to do trajectory arc for the job, so we're looking at this right now. Then we're going to see if there's crossover. And this one is a deck that I will usually do for like just the quick micros, but this one for you is coming up. There is something rare, something treasured that needs to be more honored. And just like we would honor endangered species of panda, we would honor this a little more and be careful and treasure this. This is something you need to do with yourself and not be overly serious about what's going on. Wow. Wow. I thought one card fell. Look how 5 of these. Okay. Trajectory. Trajectory, 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 trajectory. Okay. Oh my. We start with the Queen of Wands, who knows her power, knows her worth, has her mojo in the sense of career. You know what you bring to the party. You know what your skill set is. You know what you offer to the situation. You know your value. And you let people approach you. Queen of Wands is sometimes a little territorial. Why you're getting the stink eye on this? Territorial does not mean defend, argue, 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 argue. There's nothing wrong with tooting your own horn and saying, hey, I've done a great job, or hey, this is what I really would like to see happen. What are your thoughts? These kinds of things that kind of promote you in a good way. This is a good thing. Be receptive to others at this time. Don't be so worried about somebody else taking your job or doing it your way because they can't do it your way. You can do it your way. This is something where you are gifted. This is the one that arrives to the party and everybody's heads turn. So do your job extremely well. Dust off whatever it is. Show up looking super sparkly. The queen does not show up like the poor little match girl. She shows up sparkly, razzle-dazzle, confident. Show up confident in the workspace. 9 of Cups. The wish coming true. This is something that you've really liked. Now, you know that old phrase, be careful what you wish for? Just because you're getting your wishes doesn't mean there isn't sometimes assets and liabilities. This tone can sometimes get overly smug, but this one is the hostess with the mostest. And right here, she's coming through here. There is something that you offer. Usually, if you see this traditionally, and you can see it in this card pretty good, but usually traditionally, you see this whole buffet table set with all of these cups behind them. Really, really, you have much to offer in the job, and they know it. They know it. They know it. The Eight of Wands coming forward. Something happening within the next 2 months. The Eight of Wands for me is get your ducks in a row. Get your ducks in a row. This would ask, and this would bring forward for you to get things logical in the workplace, get them set in order in the workplace. Don't let that bleed over in the relationship too much. Have things set up. If you can compartmentalize, I know sometimes that gets a bum rap too, but sometimes we need to. The job is the job, the work is the work. The job needs blah, 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 attended to in a certain order, in a specific way that you are great at doing. So be on task, be organized, and be ready. And bring it forward in a way that presents you in your best light. It's great for you right there. Six of Cups. There is a little bit of playfulness and friendship energy at the job. This is make sure that you do an equal trade. Just like the Two of Cups in relationship, it's equal. One person brings one cup, one person brings another cup, right? Here, this is like trading your favorite rock for the favorite candy bar. You're trading time for dollars. You're trading hours for dollars. Make sure that it's worth it. Make sure that you are bringing enough of yourself forward, that you stand out, that you sparkle. There is something that wants to bring forward more promotion for you. And then the Lovers, there's a choice that will be needing to be made. Now, I want to see what happens on this part of the trajectory, okay? Hang on, we'll see what's going on. The Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is coming up. This is saying retreat when you need to retreat. Be very, very aware of when you need to retreat. That card talks about reclaim, restore, renew, refresh, all of this. This is something that's important for you. Again, I'm getting when you need to compartmentalize, compartmentalize. Anything else she needs to know? Ace of Pentacles and Two of Cups. Big reward coming. This is like the biggest, the most optimal, the most full on the money, on the resources. Huge. Two of Cups, because you're offering huge. Now, this can be perfect in relationship, in friendship, and also in business. You are offering exactly what needs to be offered. And you're knowing your value, knowing your worth, wanting what is worth it for you. And you're considering it deeply. You're not just going to let apathy get the better of you. This is huge reward coming in. That's what I've got. Anything else? Yes. There is a coming alive that needs to happen in both realms. There is a waking up that needs to happen in both realms. This does not mean don't compartmentalize. It means wake up and be more alive within your own being, within your own sense of being a little bit more, because it's coming on. It's coming on. You should be excited to greet the day. There should be more excitement and more ambition. This coming alive energy is coming through. There is a shift happening for you. Look for the 15th and 17th. Now, that's astrologically wacko. This week is a little bit weird astrologically, to say the least. But beyond this week, this coming alive is coming back, coming back, coming back. And it feels like the joy, the excitement, the happy is coming back towards you. That's what I've got. It should be as roly-poly and playful as these pandas are. And right from the top, I'm saying don't take yourself overly serious on this. I mean it. Don't take yourself overly serious on this. This is big for you. That's what I've got. That's complete. All right. Okay. All right. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Okay. Okay. All right. You feel like you're stuck. I'm seeing that you give it like this week is weird energy, and astrologically we're in Mercury retrograde and it feels really weird. So don't sweat it right now. Give yourself about a week because the energy is shifting. And get your vitamin D. Get your sunshine, folks. This is something I would tell everyone. Get your vitamin D. Get your sunshine. This stuck feeling that many of us have had, it is shifting. But it's going to take a little bit of doing to get it completely shifted. But that's what's going on. And in the case of these pandas, they are joyful, they are endangered, they are rare. If I'm you and I see a tarot reader pull this kind of deck and with this, I would definitely be excited about this, and I would definitely watch some YouTube panda videos just for good measure. If you're feeling frustration, you know how you can watch cat videos and the cat will like smack something off the counter? You know that fucker's just being to be a cat. When you watch pandas, they're just being playful to be playful. So this is what is important for you. I would definitely keep an eye on that. I don't know why that's so huge for you, but that's what I've got. Okay, let me get a little bit of water. Because ever since the new moon, the energy's been... Yeah. And don't sweat it. The planets do sometimes throw us for a loop, but it certainly isn't the end of the world. We just are meant to figure out how to roll with it like the pandas roll down the hill sometimes. So you are so welcome, Amber. You are welcome, honey. Okay. What else do we got next, Kim? Can you... Kristen? No, hang on. Kim, will you show me again? I'm seeing Veronica. I need to know who's next on the list. Kristen was asking about the list, and I'm trying to see what's going on. Veronica for a blind. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kim. All right. Veronica for the blind. Well, that's interesting. Give me 1 second. You betcha. Oh, you betcha. Come on. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So I don't remember the names of this. This is the Metatron. This is the Sacred Hag. And I should remember the name of this. This is the first one that called me towards it. So we're going there first. We'll see what's going on. Veronica for the blind. What's going on? All right. And I'm going to lower the thing so you can see the cards as they come. All right. Veronica's blind. What does she need to know? Okay. There's something about the ability to use your glam, to turn on the charm, to use the glam, use the image, use something that is image, and you can use it for your advantage. You sometimes underestimate your own beauty, but you do know how to play it. It's like, I clean up real good. When I want to get all dressy, I'll get all dressy, and I know I clean up good. And I know I can use... And in my younger years, you know when you can show a little leg and get out of a ticket, you know when you can bat your eyelashes and get out of a speeding ticket, that kind of thing. You have that gift in and about you, but sometimes you don't reference it with the way that you should. Now, if you've been given a gift where you kind of underestimate your beauty, you also know how to go into chameleon mode really, really well. This is what's going on with you. It's like you're testing the waters, but you sometimes are acting like the gift that you have to go into chameleon mode, the gift that you have to understand the waters around you, you're acting like that's not a gift, and it is. Currents of emotion is what comes through, and I'm talking about the waters. Good grief. This is uncontrolled feelings. You're forgetting something. Conscious steps, considered action, looking forward, showing a little leg coming through. This is very interesting. Prophets and ancient seers, decisions and predictive guidance. I don't understand why you aren't reading yet in what it is that you should be reading. Now, you may well be an avid reader, a tarot reader, or you read and you think that you're taking in the signs. You need to read the way of the chiromancer here. You need to be looking for signs and reading like you used to read stars. What is going on with this? There is something that is trying to open up to you. Again, you know the gift of walking the beauty way. You know the gift of moving in a different kind of way. You know when to have your flirt on. You know when to read the room. You know when to flirt with life or flirt with the universe and call forth things to manifest. You were doing tarot reading for a while and you stopped. It doesn't mean you have to do the card of the day, but you need to start doing the reading again. You are gifted as a reader. You are gifted as a seer. And you are gifted to read by the way of chiromancer. Yes, okay. One of the people that I know of is a really gifted psychic. Her name is Susan Lynn. And Susan Lynn does something where she'll go out and she'll get signs that are in the form of balls, the universal center balls. She also says look for things in 3. So if you're getting it once, if you're getting it twice, you might think, yeah. By the 3rd time, the universe is kind of like bing, bing, hello, pop, pop, right there on the noggin saying, hello, wake up. This is something. This feels very much you. So if you could see into the cosmos, if you can connect with this part of you, it's like you shot through down to earth school, voluntarily, mind you. And here you are, and your higher self is trying to help guide you along. Now let's see what else is going on. Yeah. There is something about the sweetness and gentleness in your heart that needs to be honored. There is something about the color of yellow that needs to come through, and it doesn't feel like the strong sunflower yellow. It feels like the very pale. If you look in this card, it's the palest yellow that you see in there. There's a gentleness, like butter, that kind of yellow coming through. Fractal grief in the underworld. What is this coming up? What it feels like is if you have the spotlight on you, you think things will go haywire. It feels like you've had the spotlight on you before and things have gone haywire before, and you don't want it to happen again. So what you do is play a smaller hand, and for you, you'll know how to judge accordingly. Now, often I'll tell people don't play small. For you, I tell you judge the situation accordingly. Use wisdom in this. Use wisdom in this. There are some times when your glow up is so big that it does intimidate other people and they don't know how to be on your side. I'm not saying you have to play small all the time. No, I'm saying you have to know how to read the energy of the room, and you do know how. So be aware. There are certain situations where you will want to rein your energy, rein your sparkle in just a little bit, because just a fractal of it is usually more. It's more than what most people usually send out. There is something that needs cleansed. When we've got the grief in the underworld, there's a little bit of shadow lesson on this. What do we got going on here? Why are we getting this? This is the conscious steps. This is something about restoring your truth, restoring your voice, knowing when to speak up and knowing when to hold your tongue. It's knowing when to show up and how to show up and how brilliantly to show up. This is something you're learning. It's a balancing act for you right now. We've got hope in the wild child, and we've got also the shadow keeper. I would say don't share all of your hopes, dreams, secrets, and ambitions with others. Keep some of them to yourself. The hope here is big. It feels like there is somebody that you would desperately want to be on your side who isn't necessarily an enemy or anything like that, but if you're not sure if somebody's in your corner, just because they're around you doesn't mean they're in your corner. And if you're not sure if somebody's in your corner, one of the ways you can find out is tell them something you're excited about that's false. Tell them you're excited about taking a new pottery class. And this because you're not taking a new pottery class, but you tell them you're excited about taking a new pottery class, see what their response is. If they are really stomping on your dreams, then you know they aren't necessarily in your corner as much as you thought. If they're like, well, that's a strange thing. What made you think of that? If that's just their nature, that's just their nature. You got to really understand the intent of something, and there is something that is meant for you. And if you tell too much of the story before you write the story loses power. The energy to write it down loses power. If you tell too much of the story, you need to let this dream and this fire that you're keeping for yourself get bigger in your own heart. Fuel it in your own heart. Get some of this hope in your own heart. Build that excitement for yourself in your own heart first before you share with others. There's something about this that you need to hold. It's yes. The 4 of coins is coming through, and you see the 4 of coins. There's 2 coins below the feet, one on the head and one on the heart. And usually I will say, don't be a miser, don't be a miser. On this particular thing, if you feel like being a little bit guarded, you need to be a little bit guarded. There's some wisdom in that for you. You can't share all of your sacred knowledge with all of everyone and have them get it. Like, I didn't grow up all witchy woo-woo at all. And so for some of my family, I am sure I have, like, off the deep end. I've lost the plot from their point of view. That's okay. And when I've tried to share some of my excitement with them, they're just like, oh, this is what I'm telling you. Some people aren't going to get you, and that is okay. Yeah, you tend to overshare, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Bring it back in, bring it back in, bring it back in if you can. It's important for you right now. Let's see what else is going on. I want to see what else is about this fractal. It's to do with air. It's to do with knowledge, the intake of knowledge. We've got the fern here, and it's to do with the air and the knowledge and how ferns breathe in and out. Yeah, there's something about that. Creativity, cracking the cosmic egg. This is when you crack the different codes, when you get activations of light, these kinds of things. When you're cracking the code this close to your higher self, you need to be with it quietly for a while for yourself. Don't overshare that. Let it kind of process. You haven't got all the information. If you share and you get somebody else's influence on the epiphany that you've just had, you're not going to get to the next epiphany. Now, I don't know what that's about, but you definitely will. Now, let's see what the Metatron cards have to say on this. And it's okay to gather the different perspectives. I'm not saying don't ever do that, but I'm saying there is something about this higher self of yours that wants to bring something through for you that is a little bit stronger, a little bit different, and you need to really rely on your own sense of alignment going forward on this. Then you flirt with the universe. Then you cast it out. Then you reel it out. You don't just go throw a fishing line in the nearest body of water. You don't just go throw a fishing line in a place where there's no fish. So this is what you need to do with your words, with your information, with your knowledge. You need to be aware of where there's good fishing. I don't know why that's about, but that's what's come through. The cosmos, Mother Earth, and the priorities is coming through. This in this shape is important for you. And it's not the shape of the square. It's the shape that it creates when you have... It's the outline of this shape that's important for you. So if you draw a square like this and draw the outline, this is something that's important for you. I'm not sure why. It's a facet. It's a fractal. It's a facet. And then we got this. This mirrors you. Somehow this mirrors you. And look at the shape on the top of that. It's the same shape. You need to go with something that is more like this shape. That one I think is a more clear shape of seeing it. It's something about bringing the diamond in the self. And you know the metaphor of the coal getting heated till it becomes a diamond. There's a little bit of pressure that's on this, but there's something about that shape. And it's the very top facet of this is where I can see it the easiest. Okay. Then we have here priorities, building blocks for life. We're going again to the yellow. The yellow will be coming through a little bit more vibrantly, and this is coming through in January. This is something where I told you about the pale yellow, the butter yellow, the butter yellow. It's going to get more lemony. It's going to get more vibrant as time passes, but it needs to be honored right now so it doesn't go from pale yellow to white to disappearing. It needs to be this vibrant solar self energy of you as the individual that gets more vibrant as you guard and protect it. That's what I've got. That's complete. I don't know what that's about, but I'll show you this one last time. There you go. So yeah, this is very interesting. You've got a lot of juiciness to you that needs to be honored and held and savored for a bit. Yeah, I would just keep your energy to yourself. It doesn't mean you can't share your happiness or share your joy, but you need to be in your own sense of alignment, strong first before you have it out there, because this other, there, it feels like one is kind of like not so in your corner, and it feels like you don't want to have this mixed. You want it to be core to you, essence to you. Your understanding of the situation, of the creative impulse, your understanding of the sacred divine, the downloads, it needs to be core to you. It doesn't need to be somebody else's knowledge. It needs to be your understanding of it first. That's what I got. That's complete. Holy smokes. Sorry, guys. I kind of blathered on a little bit there, but that's what was required. So when I get nosy or when I read till it's done, till it's complete. That's how it goes. All right. So let me move this tray. Looks like the tray is going to need to be put down, and I'll get another one. 1 second. All right. You are so welcome. You're so welcome, honey. You are so, so welcome. All right. That was spot on. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Hey there, Jack. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, I don't always know what's coming through or why, but when it comes through, and we're going to just kind of roll with it. All right. So, Kim, if you let me know who's next, I'll get a little bit of water, and we'll keep rocking and rolling. Okay. There's a comment that's pinned. Is that Alicia that I saw in there? Or Crystal? Crystal, hi. Okay. All right. Vika for a blind. Okay, you got it. All right. What's going on here? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, sorry guys. So, you know when somebody is kind of eyeballing you and you're like, yeah, I think you're looking at somebody else? Sometimes the decks will do that too. Sometimes they'll be kind of eyeballing you and it's like, why are they looking at you? These are, we got witchlings, and then we've got the Slavic folk Lenormand, which is very unusual, and it's going to read very oracle. It won't read Lenormand because we're going into a blind reading. So we're going to see what's going on. I'm going to flip this down so you can see, and we'll see what's going on. All right, Vika's blind. What do we got here? So much magic. There's like electricity in the air. Like if you walk from here to there and then you have electricity and there's like a shock, it's like you could almost shock. There's so much magic in you, you don't even know it right now. So much magic. There's happy discoveries abounding. Happy, happy discoveries. Now let me take a look at this. We've got luck. It says, with a clear direction for what you want to achieve, summoning energies that bring good luck. So much magic in you. This is saying prosperity. Know you deserve all wondrous things and believe you can have them. What did I say about this? So much magic and manifesting, manifesting, manifesting. And then here we have beauty. When beauty is felt from within, the gorgeous will glow. Okay, this is something that's going on with you. That's huge activations coming in. Huge, huge, huge. I'm moving these back here, and I'm going to get into these little ones because they want to do some talking. Let's see what's going on. I want a line this way and a line this way. Why are you building a new house? It feels like you're setting up a new spiritual house, a new spiritual structure. This feels like the foundation, even though it's upside down to me right now. It feels like when little kids draw the little box and then the lines for the roof of the house, that's what we're getting. So we're going to go for the roof of the house right now. Okay, so here's the house. Hopefully I pulled this so you can see this well enough. All right, give me a second here. We have the clouds, a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of trouble discerning things. Keep working through it. Keep working through it. This is coming through in a mythic way with the clouds. Very interesting. This could almost be interpreted as the ship, but it's labeled as the clouds. There's uncertainty coming through a little bit on here. Now here we've got, oh my goodness, the grave. What is it that you're letting end? Okay. All right. What I'm getting here, we're going to take a minute and lift this up. What I'm getting here is a version of you that you outgrew. It's like those shoes that are a half size too small, but they're really gorgeous and they were super expensive. And they're fancy pants and motherfucking look good on your shoes. You want to keep wearing them, but you've simply outgrown them. There's a version of you that is, you worked so hard to get it. It's like maybe you go to school and you study art, and you never do anything with it because you become, I don't know, a musician. So it's kind of like this. It's kind of like you're having trouble letting go of an older version of yourself. And you're like, but I thought I was going to be a this, or I thought I was going to do a that. It doesn't mean that it's wasted energy, but that version of you has been outgrown just as much as those shoes ever were. It doesn't mean the beauty that was in that moment, in that time frame for you at that time wasn't right. But something has to end, and this is why the clouds are there. You're having trouble letting go of your past self and allowing yourself to step into the new self. There's something about it that's intimidating, scary, and a little confusing. You have all the magic just popping, popping, popping. Like if you walk to the bathroom and you suddenly touch the light switch and shock, boom. It's like, hey, yeah, this is what's going on. There's something about this that's happening for you. And the more receptive and the more open you are to this, the easier to let go of this. Yes. When you think about the cosmic egg and the snake that surrounds it, right? It warms the egg and cracks the new cosmic lesson. Also, when you think about snakes and they shed their skin, they can't hold on to their old skin. It limits their growth. You are working your way out of an old skin, and it's not a bad thing at all. Okay, going next. We have the bird here, and this is shown like phoenix energy. So we know about snake energy. We talk about butterfly energy a lot. We know about phoenix energy. They'll burn down their old nest to let the new phoenix rise. This is what's going on. And this is coming in on one side of the roof. And it's at a steep incline. It's like, quick, steep. And you're trying to brake. Don't brake. You cannot slow this down. Allow, let go of this older version of self. Snake year is 2025. Okay, then. And we've got the lily coming through. This is something that's taken a long time to grow. If you have the lily, if you have lotus coming through the water, any of the water flora, it takes a while to grow. If you think about bamboo, how bamboo operates. In fact, that's good homework for you. Study lotus, study bamboo. This is how you've grown. There's something also about humans that happens, and it seems like every 7 years we're in for a new cycle or a new chapter of life. And it feels like that's about the time that you're at right now. The peak of things. Now, what's the downhill? What's coming next on the next few years? Let's take a look. This is the side here that we're at. We did this. We're here. Downhill. Wisdom's coming through. Very interesting. The man is coming through. Now, sometimes and often I'll get the grandmothers. This is coming through more like the grandfathers, the divine masculine coming through. There's something about that. There is indeed a time where there's added strength, added protection coming in from the divine from both sides. But in modern society, sometimes we interpret that because of patriarchy and whatnot as a more masculine strength. There's something coming in as a protected time. Something where the emotions and the growth that has been happening is protected, opening up to something new. Now we have the ship. Now we have the movement forward, the travel, the journey. Now you're on the journey. You feel like you're ready now. Ready. What's going on? January 17th, what's going on there? February 3rd, what's going on there? Hang on. There's a period of time, January 17th through February 3rd, you should be looking at, and it may be those specific dates, or those may bookend. I'm not sure why I'm getting those. I don't usually, sometimes I can get dates very clearly, sometimes not. Those are coming through oddly clear. They're two distinct dates. You're going to have to make a choice. You're going to be at crossroads on both of those dates. You need to engage your emotional and intuition there. And you're going to have this transforming. This shedding will be totally done by February 3rd. You will have embodied and been into this new section by February 3rd. Really super receptive. Be patient with yourself as you're moving forward and getting free of the snake skin. You're going to get rid of the old, but it doesn't mean the new isn't kind of new, kind of fresh. Like you have to be a little careful, be a little wise, be protective of self. Yeah, I don't know exactly what else is going on, but we got the butterfly transformation card. We got the phoenix energy over here for sure. That's what's going on. I don't know what's going on those dates. I'd be really aware. I'd probably meditate the day before and look for what comes through on the download. It seems like it would be big. That's what I would do. Now the knight or the messenger, the writer. This is the one that brings messages. Be aware. It's about the messages coming through on those dates. Anything else she needs to know? Not in this deck. Anything else in here? Yes, absolutely. What's in the attic? We have the house built down here. We have the house. Here's the roof line. Here's the attic space. Next level, right? Higher level. What's in the attic? Full illumination. There's a lamp. There's something in the attic. Oh, look at this. There's the house right there. But the card is supposed to be the sun. But what have we been building this whole time is the house. We talked about the attic, and look, it's up there. It's up there. It's up there. What's in there? I'm just so tickled pink about this. Give me just a second. I'm just thrilled when the cards play this nice. There's something about a warmth of, again, we're getting the metaphor of the snake when he sheds the skin, and then he's warming in the sun. He's warming in the sun. There's a warmth, a new warmth that's coming in, a new inspiration coming in, new firelight, new excitement, new ambition, all of this coming in, new warmth coming in for you. This is beautiful energy for you, beautiful. This isn't going to be so cold and difficult as you think. Absolutely not. There's a warmth coming in on this. This warm inspiration. Now, yeah, okay, we'll go one more. Serenity. There's a certain amount of peacefulness that's coming through here. And this card says, the spirit of serenity brings calmness and connectivity of all that is. It is like the snake warming itself in the sun, just enjoying it very, very serenely. The work of shedding that old skin is done. And this is where you're warming up and loving it. I love that. Yeah. Remember this house. Remember to go up in the attic, to go up to this higher level where you can have a perspective and enjoy the warmth. It's absolutely fabulous for you. That's what I've got. That's complete. Holy smokes. I love that for you. I love it. And this is the Slavic folklore Lenormand, but it wasn't reading like Lenormand. It was reading like Oracle. So that's what we had there. And then the Witchlings, which is really cute. And I didn't get it for a long time because it was cute. And finally I had to be like, yeah, you need to get that. So yeah, that's what I've got. You are so, so welcome, honey. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad, glad, glad. Okay, let me get some water. We'll see what's next. And Chad, I did talk to Gogs about the Yule thing, so I'll fill you in on that after we do the reads and we're caught up with the list. So anyway. All right. So Kim, you're welcome. Kim, who was next on the list? Kristen's here. Kristen's here. Okay. What am I to do or learn with the relationship between my mother and I currently? Okay, let's take a look. One second. There's a certain set of cards that I want. Now, these two I don't always read together, but I want to read them together. It's the Spiritual Tarot and then the Textured Tarot. Interesting texture on those, huh? If you can see, especially after that last read. But the Spiritual Tarot is what came to mind for this question. And then we can go and look at some other things if we want to go in deeper. But let's look, you, your mom, and something going on in the dynamic between. So I want to see what's going on here. The spiritual lessons. You have a different set of curriculum than she does, which is really, we all have different curriculum. But sometimes in our siblings, we'll see some siblings have a very similar curriculum as the parent. In this one, yours is different than hers. Kristen. Your question and the way you phrased it, you asked, what are you supposed to be learning currently? And when I keep looking at that word currently, I'm getting something else. I'm getting that this needs to be over time. You know, when you have your grade in a class and then you have your cumulative GPA, you need to look over the broad spectrum of time. And this is going far back and far forward. There are soul contracts going on. It's more than just this moment you're in. Queen of Swords. Eight of Wands. This feels like your mother, and this feels like you in the energy fields. This feels like somebody that is a little bit, can be perceived as the bitch, can be perceived as cold, is right about a lot of things. Sometimes comes off as a know-it-all. Sometimes thinks she knows you better than you know yourself, but actually doesn't. It might say, oh, I know you, you do blah, blah, blah. But they might not be seeing exactly what it is you're wanting to do. The Eight of Wands is coming in as you also. And this is not a peopled card. It's usually about the energy of quick, of a lot of things going on, of high energy and speed and pace. It feels like you have a firecracker and very, very big and busy energy that sometimes doesn't make sense to her. Now, I want to switch sides of these. I'm switching the sides of these. So now you are on this side, she is on this side, because it just reads a little more simply to me, reads a little more effectively to me. There's a puzzle coming through on the TikTok. 1 second. It wants me to line up the puzzle piece. Okay, so let's go and see what's going on in the energy in between. This time of life where you're getting insights and inspiration, it may not make sense to her. Let's see the energy between right now. And then I want to go, strangely, I want to go past and I want to go forward on this in the energy. We're going to go swimming in that current. Eight of Swords, limiting beliefs, really strongly wanting to pull this way. Wow, okay. Strongly pulling this way. What is this about? The Five of Wands she finds upsetting, and the Two of Swords and being at the crossroads and choices. It's like she thinks you have to make a certain choice or a certain decision and you should make it her way, and you disagree with this. She is thinking from a limited point of view. Yes, okay, all right, got it, thank you. So there was a time when my grandmother would give me these books, and in all of these books, it was like these old Harlequin books, and they were all either nurses or governess or whatever. There was this limiting belief about what women could do and what their professional role might be. It is as if your mother sees the logical choices and the logical options, but she's only capable of seeing two, and she thinks you need to choose one of those old nurse, old governess, old type options. But you see a lot more choices, a lot more options. In fact, so many that it feels conflicted to her. It feels like competition. She wants to be the one in charge that keeps you out of the path of what she would consider harm's way. You want to be exploring, doing something new, going a different direction. You can only be who you are. I want to see what's going on more for your spiritual lesson here, because it feels like what she thinks is the right way for you to proceed and for you to go and for you to handle your life isn't at all what's actually right, but to try and convince her of that would be very, very difficult. The Lovers. If this does, and this is the card of choice, of choosing either the lover or choosing the purpose. The person or the purpose comes up on this sometimes, and it could literally represent a lover or someone involved in your life that she does not like. But the choice is yours to do. The path is yours to go clearly on. How you travel this road, how you travel your own soul contract is different than hers. What she may have marked out for you to be, do, have, how your life was supposed to go according to your mother's mind is not necessarily how it should go at all. She might not be convinced of that, but that's like not how it should go at all. What's going on hers? Why is she grieving something? She needs to slow down and have some rest, have some retreat. There's things that have been at odds and they've been costly to her. We've got the Four of Swords coming up here in such a weird way. It's like, this is usually where you see the person sleeping on their own grave. And it's usually where you see the soldier that comes home. Survivor's guilt comes into play with this. Or coming back after everybody else went to war and didn't come back, and this is the only one that came back. It's something about, she thinks about its survival, and it's a survival instinct that's residue. It feels very residue from a previous time, The spiritual lesson of you choosing freely and choosing from a more empowered, exciting place is different. She feels very, very cautious, very, very limited in how she wants to think about this. She's only seeing two choices at the crossroads. Oh no, you're making the wrong choice. There's way more options than she would have imagined. Let's see what else is the texture of this. I want this to go down so you can see this in the replay. Oh, hang on. There we go. You've got to go the new direction. It's clear as day. You've got to go the new direction. You have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands, but look how different they are. You have to have the new start energy coming through. Ace of Swords, logic, thinking, clarity of mind, clear inspiration, two different. She comes through as the Swords energy. You come through as this Wands energy. Hugely, hugely different. She's afraid of the pain that will happen, and you're afraid of not following the inspiration. What comes through here? Okay, the burden's coming through, and this is what's coming through. Sometimes we want to honor our parent, take care of our parent, or not have conflict with our parent. The burden is the tradition. You are carrying your mother's weight too much. You're carrying her burden, her story, her narrative far, far too deeply. You need to set it down. You need to go towards the more spiritual truth that you have access to. It'll get you to the same kinds of spiritual wisdom, but you can't carry it in the way that she would do so. You cannot. This is why you have so much wands. Look how stooped over this is. You can't carry it that way any further. The Hierophant is there. You know what you know the choice, and you're ready to advance and move forward in a different kind of way. It's really, really, really beautiful energy. I want to flip this down so you can see more again. Okay, flipping it down. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles. This is work. This is something that is second nature to you. It's work, it's work, it's work. It's skills you've developed. It's a way, a method that comes natural to you. It's a way of doing that comes natural to you, but it is the card of work. It does take effort to do, but it does come natural to you. Here you are again, Page of Wands. I mean, gorgeous. Look at this. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous energy. Gorgeous. It's work. She's only seeing the work, the work, the work. She sees the weight of something pushing you down, but she sees it from the opposite point of view. And she may very well see that you are ready to work hard, but she cannot see herself as a burden yet. What she does see is that there is something that you need to do, and you need to work a little harder. But the way she's pushing is creating more resistance in you, and it doesn't serve. It's like when I tell my son, be sure you take your vitamin C, take all your vitamins, get plenty of sleep, blah, blah, blah. He's heard mom lecture 15B a bajillion times. He already knows this. It's me trying to look out for him, but telling him blah, 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 that probably isn't super useful because he already knows this. He needs to learn his own lesson. All right. Six of Cups. She's looking at nostalgia of the past. She's looking at, are you grown enough to make these choices and these lessons? And there is something about this that is trying to be protective, but she goes to this place of anxiety, of worrying about the monsters of mother's worry, and it doesn't serve. Try not to be too difficult in your judgment of her right now. It is like me telling my son, take the vitamin C, blah, 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 blah. Do all this, do all this, do all this. Part of her is trying to do what she can that is best for you based on the knowledge point she had and the set point she had, which was 20 years before you entered, basically, you know. It's an old set point. All right, what else do we got? Okay, the final cards that I'm coming forward with here are the Empress, which is the mother. We have the Knight of Wands, which is you. And then we have the Nine of Cups. You both get your happy eventually. You have to approach it like the Ace of Wands. Inspired, about work, follow the ambition, follow the ambition. She has to approach it from the logic. She can do no other. This is what I'm getting. It's not so much that one won't get to the same point as where the other would hope it would get to. It's just a matter of the approach is very different, and your approach is right for you. Her approach would be right for her. It's her job to lead her own life, do her own thing in her terms. It's not your job to make her happy and do what she wishes. It's your job to do what your heart wishes, what you desire. And this is a tricky lesson for all of us to learn. You cannot change to accommodate anyone. And there's so much of this powerful, like, here she is, here you are. Here you are, wanting to charge forward. This is something that comes second nature to you. Whatever it is that your heart is telling you to go forward and do, go forward and do, go forward and do, go forward and do. It's super, super good for you. Anything else? It feels like there will come a time of understanding, but it won't be this year. So you're going to have to be patient this year. There will come a time of understanding where she will know you a little bit better as the person that you are. But it doesn't feel like she's quick to pick this up. She's having her own curriculum. That's what I'm getting. Anything else? Herself, before she landed in this planet, knew fully the lessons she would teach you and fully the lessons you would teach her. She knows who you are if she can remember herself. She can't remember all of this bit about herself just yet. She might be stuck in some older, more conventional ways, Be patient with her in this. Her heart knows your heart. You are here by design. Even if it feels like she doesn't get you, even if it feels like you're at conflict, at odds, not on the same page. What the heck? How did they send me? Did the stork get the wrong house? The stork didn't get the wrong house. That's what I've got. That's complete. That's beautiful. It's tricky. It's beautiful. It sometimes hurts and is painful, but you have to grow in a different way. You've got different curriculum. You're so, so welcome, honey. You are so welcome. No problem at all. Let me get some water. We'll take a look at what's going on. Oh, Chad, a question for Lucy. Oh, okay. Okay, Chad, do you want to put in the chat what your question is for Lucy? And if you guys are new in the room, I don't think anybody here is new in the room, but Lucy is one of my guides. So if Chad has a question for Lucy, I see that, and it's a blind question for Lucy. Do you want to just leave it at that? So let me know if it's specific or if you want me to go in blind. Either way, whatever, we'll take a look. Okay. Lucy, can you tell us about the holiday celebrations you can recall? Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. Really interesting. She wants to go to the Ethereal Visions Tarot. Okay, give me a second. We're going to go down here. We're not in her usual decks. Okay. Clear as day, this is where she wants to come in. Lucy, what do you want to tell us? The holiday invention is something that you guys invented. It's something that is a modern invention. It isn't necessarily how we did, how was done in her time, in her culture. Now, what I'm seeing when we first get this coming through, there was something about celebrating the new year and balancing the scales in a different kind of way. There was also an opportunity for social change, social role to change. It's as if the servant could get something as an opportunity to do something different in the next year and change and become a little bit more master of their own domain. In some way this happens, and this could be in lots of social roles and structure. So it feels as though that in hers at the beginning of the new year is where she's focusing more. It's not so much, yes, Christmas is not so much the gift, was the ability to create the change, the ability to step into the new role as you step into the new year. Slippers, like you would step into slippers. You put your feet in the new role, you walk into someone else's steps. This is the ability you do. You take the teaching glasses off, and for a year you can go in study mode. You can go explore. Instead of having to teach, you go soak up, learn. The strength is in becoming Renaissance. She's giving me the reference of Renaissance man, or the era of Renaissance times, where you were learning all kinds of different gifts to amplify. The strength is in following the nudge for the next year and devoting that year to the learning of that. There was something very interesting in this. There's a completion of the wishes here. It seemed to be a well-rounded practice. So the gift and the holiday tradition was to decide what cup you set down and what cup you want next. So you could very much choose your own gift. Lucy's saying you could choose your own gift. So whether she would step out of teacher role and into student, whether she would step out of dancer role and into artist, it very much would be the beginning of the year in her culture. I did not know this. This is interesting. Okay, what else, Lucy? You had to be willing to be devoted. The Knight of Wands comes in, and this is just huge charging devotion. You had to go in, like jump into the deep end of learning and ready to learn. And she is remembering strongly a year, yes, where she stepped in very, very much, wanting to learn, wanting the information, wanting to witness and see. She wanted to get off the horse even. She wanted to be soaked in, observing, learning. Interesting. So this comes up, and this is the Cover Your Ass and the Thief card. And what I got is There is an eternal deficit that we would use the word deficit, but the yearning, the longing for more, the longing for learning more, the longing to take care of ourselves, but to learn something more is always there. It's never not so. We are always expanding. Yes? She does not like the word deficit, although it is what if we feel something is missing. It is like we will want to take something, but something's always missing. You have to walk away. There's trade-offs. This is really, really interesting. It's like the trade-off of setting down. Again, she's showing me setting down the teacher role. She loves the teacher role that she fills now, but she had to set down teaching of a certain thing, of a certain level, say like you're teaching kindergarten, to set that down to learn more art so she could teach art. That kind of thing is coming through. Yes. And this expansion, the universe is always expanding. Thus, it's not a deficit. The desire for growth, the desire for more. It is not the deficit word you choose to use. It is the desire for love to grow, to expand, to seek more. Isn't because of lack. It's because the desire to expand is as eternal as the universe itself. That's what she's got for us. The Wheel of Fortune. The cycles and seasons. She thinks I've covered that pretty well. And it's not always fate that turns that wheel. Sometimes we ourselves leverage the wheel. Yes, yes. She's showing me the Wheel of Fortune as if you could put a lever or a lever underneath and pry it and spin it for ourselves. Yes, okay. This is a funny one. It always surprises me when the guides want to give me a modern reference that I wouldn't think they would know. But of course they would know. She's showing me The Price is Right, that wheel, when people crank down on it and spin it to get their own fortune. She's showing me this wheel. And then she's showing me as if behind the scenes somebody has a button to make sure it stops on what we need to learn next. Sometimes fate intervenes and steps in. So we think we've cranked the wheel really hard and it's going toot, 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 and it slows down and stops. And sometimes it sounds like somebody's back there fiddling with it. Yeah, the divine sometimes does, because we need to have our own agency and our own choice. But there's also some core lessons, curriculum lessons, bonus lessons that surprise us along the way. Temperance. Learning the balance next year. Everyone's learning this. This Temperance card is gorgeous. Gorgeous. There's gold in the Temperance. This is the card of transmuting and of alchemy. This Temperance is huge for 2025, and this is a global lesson. Global. Not as in just global as in theory. Like everyone on the globe is getting the lesson of temperance and getting the lesson of balance and getting the lesson of alchemy. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then this new start, this Ace of Wands, a new tree planted, some kind of new start is happening. And it's a little bit of a fiery, it's a little bit of a push, but this is what's coming through. What else? It is like the year when she would, not every year, when you have the opportunity. Okay, Lucy. Okay. When the opportunity comes, and if I want to be teacher, if I want to be student, when the opportunity comes, I make my choice. Not every year do I choose to have a new role, although I could. Every year I get the opportunity to make the choice. Does that mean every year I change? No, no. Some years I want to stay in the role that I am already in. Some years I want to extend my stay, but the opportunity is there to switch roles should we want to. New Year's is not about new resolutions. It's new ways of being, new ways of doing. Not resolution, lofty goal. New experience to be had, new experience to be held, or to hold and treasure more the experience that we are in. That's what I've got. She thinks that covers it. Yeah, that's what she's got. How long is the year that Lucy is talking about? Is it the same as our 365 days? No. No. As soon as I read that, and as soon as I get that, she's giving me 500 as the number. I don't know what that's about, if it would be the 500 days, but it's significantly more. It's like a third longer than what we would expect. So I don't know what that's about. So yeah, that's what I've got. Wild, wild, wild. Yeah, very beautiful. Very beautiful. Okay, Cassandra. Okay. So I have that's $30. I don't know if it's for the year ahead or for a mini. Let me know what that is, and we'll go to that. You figured it would be about that? Don't be surprised if Lucy shows up somewhere and tells you damn Skippy stuff. Just because my guides are here with me right now, it's like my mom on the other side. It doesn't mean she's not going to go visit my sisters or whatever. So your guides might be helping other people besides just you and giving information to others in a way that they understand as well. It really is it's like we can be friends with more than one person. So can our guides be guides with more than one person. So don't be surprised if Lucy shows up and tells you something about a 500-day term for you. Oh, you know? Oh, okay. I'm sure you do. That's great. That's fabulous. The year ahead for Cass. Okay, you got it, honey. Give me just a second and let me find the cards that want to be found for you. Well, really? Okay. We're going into the Red Fairy Tarot. Now, red deck, blue-black deck. I ink them and double them because I like to see if duplicates come up. This is called the Red Fairy Tarot. So the first one I've got, of course I had to edge red. But the next one, of course, I couldn't edge red. So yeah, we're going to go to this Red Fairy Tarot for Cassandra, year ahead. Let's see what's going on. Okay, and I'm going to flip this down so you can see what's going on. So here we go for Cassandra. We want to go in this blue. And for some reason, this makes me think of licorice. This color pattern and the interesting of licorice and star anise is coming through, and fennel is coming through. I don't know what that is all about, but okay. Just so you know. And it's black licorice, not red licorice. It's a black licorice with a little bit of extra sugar coming on. Fennel tea is coming through. Fennel, like I think it's a leafy thing. And tea, fennel tea is coming through. It's going to have that flavor in it. All right. We've got a victory coming in. Whoa, we've got 6 and 6. We've got 6 of Wands and 6 of Cups coming through. So 6 of Wands is where you're at. Victories all through. And overcoming nostalgia and overcoming. This is when something's overly sweet, overly sweet, overly sweet. There needs to be something that is a little bit different about the sweet. It can't just be straight up sugar. A little bit unique, a little bit different flavoring going on. Just like black licorice is very distinct. I love it. Phil, my husband, he does not like the smell of it. It's like, bleh to him. But this is what it is. This is something that is sweet and different that you will like, but it's not super, super over sugar. Now I'm going to set these to the side in the tray for a minute, and what I'm going to do is go around the clock with this next set. So that's what we're doing. Same deck, second deck, Red Fairy in December for Cass. December, January, February, March. March wants to turn sideways. What's with that? I don't know. March wants to turn sideways. April, May, June. June wants more cards. June. June's going to be big. June wants more cards. July, August, September, October, November. Okay. Now let's see what we got here. I'm going to flip this all down so you can see. This is kind of how we're going. This is the part that we're at right now. So we have the Capricorn energy coming in strong, strong with the devil here. It's Capricorn time. This Capricorn season, watch those dates and watch those around you in the family that are Capricorn. Watch the 2 or 3 days before and after Christmas. Like literally the 2 to 3 days before December 25th and after. It's going to be big for you. There's a new gift that you're getting. The stubbornness will need to yield up and let go of. The healing waters of January are close upon you. So it's going to be a little bit of a stubbornness going on in December for you. And I know we're just at the start of it, but there's a little bit of stubbornness holding to the old and finishing details that need to be here. The finishing details coming through are huge. This is the finishing details. You can finish and do it in a very tenacious, persistent kind of way, but prepare yourself to move forward into the next year to allow your dreams, your hopes, and your heart's desire to be more prevalent than your stubbornness. January, this is hope-filled, hope-filled. I want to see what else is coming up regarding this. There's something in February where you want the independence to come out. But what's coming in January? The Seven of Pentacles. You're evaluating. You're checking out the fruits of labor. You're checking about how far you've come. It's like you've come a long way, baby. Now what do you want to do? What do you want to do next? You're evaluating your dream. And it may be the dream you had in your younger years no longer applies, and you have a new dream and you don't even know it. Now, this is very curious. Like, I used to want to have a log cabin home. I just was in love with that in my 20s and in my 30s. And every time I see them now, I think, ooh, they're so gorgeous. But would I want one now? No, I've changed since I dreamed that dream. So I will still love the beauty. And, you know, if somebody came to my door and said, hey, this is your new house, I'd probably take it. However, would I want to move and leave what I've got? No. If they said, this is your new house, this is a new cabin, you got exactly what you dreamed for, but it's 3 states away, I'm going to have to pass. So this is very, very interesting. December's your birthday, and you can understand that. Yeah, this is very, very interesting. This is where the dream that you had before, what you thought was the big gift, is changing. You're evaluating it differently now. Okay, now I'm going to flip down the cards because we see the 9 of Pentacles about independence coming in. This is usually the woman that has leisure time, luxury, plenty of money. This is Mrs. Sitting Pretty financially. She's done well. She's out in her own garden, taking her own time. This one's doing it in a very thoughtful and kind of somber way. What she's asking you to do is evaluate what it is that makes you independent, that is yours alone, that is yours and only yours, that is the secret desire of your heart, not what you thought it was and not what others have told you it should be. But what is it that it is yours deep in your heart? This is a time where you will introspect, where you will find what it is you love. You will look back at the nostalgia. You'll look at the victories that you've already had and what are the new victories you want to bring forward. Now, what's the card that's going to be between here and here? I want to see that one. Look, 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 look. I love when this happens. Look. This is about that dream again. It's huge, huge, huge. Huge. That dream is coming through big. And what is there? Death. There's death of the old dream and welcoming the new. It's huge transformation. The dream has grown up. Now, you've heard me say sometimes, it's time to grow up. Put on your big girl panties. Get going in a more grown-up way. It's like your dream has grown up. The childhood dream that you would have had has grown. And it's outgrown something. You don't have caterpillar dreams. You have butterfly dreams now. They're different, and that's totally okay. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy coming through. I love this. This is a year where your wishes and what you want to have coming forward in a very big, deep, spiritual kind of way is coming forward in abundance. Stay in the healing water energy throughout the year. Get a little pruny in there. Get pruny in the thinking and the daydreaming and the feeling energy of what it is you desire. This is huge for you. That's what's coming in February. In March, the Ace of Pentacles came on its side. It's shifting, it's turning. It's not just about the reward of the finance, although that will be there. Something else is turning there. I want to see what else is going on there. That one came in sideways. So it feels like some kind of interesting cuckoo delay, but so beautiful. What is the reward that you are getting? You're getting time. And I thought you were getting time before the card went down. The Hangman is here. You're getting time. The Hanged Man. This is usually how we see the Hanged Man, right? You're getting time. And it's like you're getting to be able to see something from different perspective entirely. You also hear me often reference a walking in the air, but you're letting yourself walk deep, walk into, the still waters, the deep waters. This is something you're able to walk into. The deep emotions, the deeper emotions of the heart are coming through. And there's a big reward in this. You're getting a sense of time here. This is the huge reward, and it will pay off hugely for you. Like, not just in the monetary way, but in the resourcefulness. So if you feel like in February that you need to slow things down a bit for March, then do it. Anything else? There is a sacrifice that is made when you slow things down in that way. The Three of Cups. You find what you celebrate, and this is you finding Soul Tribe a little bit more. March to April, you're finding this. The Six of Cups. Ooh! Look at this. The understanding of what friendship is, the understanding of soul family, soulmates, and yes, okay. that song, Say, old playmate, come out and play with me, climb up my apple tree. Something about this, climb through my cellar door and we'll be jolly friends forevermore. There's something about a nostalgic friendship returning. And Say, old playmate, this is a traditional, a really warm, makes me think of Say, old playmate. It's this song like when little girls will play clapping games, you know, like a patty cake game, or they'll play, this is young. This is the energy of 5 or 6. And this is the hopefulness when kids are in kindergarten and in first grade, they're learning so much. Everything's opening up. And all it takes to become new friends with someone is like, hey, friend. Oh, hey, friend. It's that kind of energy coming in, very, very warm. Now, you've got this in March, April, May, 6 of Swords. You're leaving something rough behind. It feels to me like the difficult lessons of 24 linger in little bits and pockets. And it feels like you're leaving those bits and pockets behind. Sometimes that does mean that we're leaving some of our friends behind and inviting new ones in. Don't be closed at all to that. This is beautiful, beautiful friendship energy. It's coming in at a higher vibration, but a simpler way. And I love this. You are definitely headed for the peaceful waters. You don't have it in you to be uptight and angry all the time, which some people would like you to be fighting for their cause. No, you just want the peace. And this is something you're moving towards. Okay, June. We're seeing the Page of Cups, the 7 of Coins. We saw this in January. Saw it in January. It's coming again in June. It's big June. This is evaluating something, creative new endeavors coming forward, and then a refusal of something. This is in alignment with that stubborn devil energy. Now, I'm going to show you why it's in alignment, and you can see it more clearly on the YouTube, but it's straight down the line. It's like a 6-month reminder, memo, reevaluation of what happens between December and January. I said you need to leave some of the stubborn behind. Some of the stubborn might want to come back and enter in. You're going to have to refuse the stubborn old way and go forward towards the new path in a big way. Evaluate again, just like you did in January. It's the halfway point of the year. It's a fair thing to do. And get creative. Now, when we get the Stinky Fish Tea, when we get the Page of Cups, it's the artist, it's the creative one. She goes towards the water to get the emotional stuff, and then she comes up with something substantial, a stinky old fish. But she doesn't get just a drink. She gets dinner and a drink, right? She gets something substantial here in June. There is a reward coming in June for learning how to operate a little differently. King of Cups comes in here. This is keep calm, carry on. King of Cups is on the water every bit as much as this boat is. King of Cups is in his throne on the water on his own, okay? So the King of Cups comes through, and even if there is a little bit of turbulence, the king stays calm. This is July. So this is the keep calm and carry on, detach from that old way. It's almost as if somebody, I don't know what they're called. I'm going to describe it to you because I don't know the name of it. I've seen it on TV or cartoons or something. It's like this rope or string that has 2 balls on the end, 2 literal balls on the end, and they would throw it and try and like go hunting with it. And it feels like something from the past is throwing that string with the 2 weights, the weighted balls on it, trying to like snag you into something again. It could be a friend comes around or somebody from the past comes around, tries to draw you into their drama. Don't let them draw you into their drama. Think about that thing they throw. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, good. Clackers or bolo. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, that's a very distinct image, but that's the June, July. And it starts a little bit here where you're trying to have your peace. Keep holding to your peace. Create a new situation. Keep calm, carry on. And don't let the clackers or the bolo, whatever that is, don't let that draw you into their drama. You don't need to do that. They're really trying hard. You need to cover your ass. 7 of Swords. Sneaky Pete the Thief is saying someone is trying to draw in your nature, your stubborn nature, your tenacious nature, and something from the old about this. And you have made progress towards what is this new dream. Don't abandon it. Don't give up on it. What else do we need to know regarding this 7 of Swords? Cover your ass is what I'm getting. If somebody gets those clackers around your ankle, stop, take them off, remove them, detach. Two of Wands. And you're saying bala, not bolo, bala. Okay. 2 of Wands. You're going to have to take a slow step again. Evaluate. This is usually the world in your hands and then the world on the horizon. But look, she's looking closely at that globe. That globe is huge. The world is her oyster. The world is where she is planning to be. She is creating the plan and taking the steps, and she is doing it, what, on her own. Now, here came this Nine of Pentacles here. This was that February energy. You see your world in the way you see your world, okay? This is for you to see and define how you want it to go. It's not for someone else to. So cover your ass in July and you decide where it is you want to go, where it is you want to be. There could be an actual change in geography at that time or just a trip. It could be anything from a road trip to a girl's trip to Vegas or whatever, but it needs to be of your own choosing in this month of August, okay? You're going to have to hunker down when September comes in. September is offering the Ten of Swords. You have to move on. Remember that clacker thing that we talked about. You have to move on. There's something painful. This feels like something that you have outgrown. Someone that you have outgrown doesn't want you to have outgrown them. And they feel like they are being left in the past, left behind. And you can only handle so much of their drama. If somebody comes to you with the same problem, they say, my head hurts. I keep banging it on this wall. My head hurts. I keep banging it on this wall. My head hurts. And you're like, well, stop banging your head on the damn wall. And you're like, see that wall? You don't have to do that anymore. Move around the wall. Walk around. And they're like, okay. Then they come back next week. My head hurts. I keep banging it on this wall. My head hurts. You can't tolerate that energy around you anymore. You will have outgrown it. And they're going to still need to bang their head on the wall. And you're going to need to move on. And they're going to feel like perhaps that you are a little bit unfeeling or don't care. And you don't have to be mean. But you've got to go back to September energy, back to learning something new. And they don't want you to learn. They need you to be in a codependent kind of way. Six of Cups. It is friendships and it is nostalgia, but sometimes there is a codependence that comes in with this. This is the challenge straight across here. I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see. Here's the Six of Cups. Here's the Ten of Swords. It's painful. It's painful sometimes when we outgrow different friends or different relationships, and we have to allow them their lessons, just like they have to allow us ours, but it can be very painful. And it feels like you don't want to leave this person behind, but you're not going to sit around and bang your head on the wall just so they feel better. Five of Pentacles. Somebody's going to feel left out in the cold, for sure. The Magician. You have the remedy. You have the magic advice. You have the way to move forward in this. You can't force them to drink. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. You are the magician. You have the magic to move forward. You can't stay behind. It's like if you were in class with somebody and they needed to learn a different lesson before they could advance. Say they needed to learn addition and you're already learning algebra. They have to learn the addition first before they can figure out, okay, now we're going to do algebra. They can't skip multiplication. They can't skip division. They can't skip pre-algebra. But if you're already learning algebra, you can't just keep doing the addition. So what's going on here is you have the magic and the way of manifesting, the way of doing that sometimes might create a little envy. You're going towards a different kind of dream. And sometimes people do either get left behind or outgrown. It's not the end of the world, but don't hold yourself back banging your head on this wall. Or if they need to figure out their math a little bit more before they can come along, then fine. Leave them the space to learn the lesson, to quit banging their head on the wall, to learn the basics of math before they go any further. It's important for you to allow this space and honor your own magic. It's important for you. Okay, October, Temperance. I love seeing that after this. October, Temperance. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous Angel of Temperance coming through here. Gorgeous. This is where you transmute energy and transform. It's not vinegar and oil, salad dressing, boom. It's Hidden Valley Ranch. It's like dill and garlic and onion and seasoned salt and all kinds of creaminess and all kinds of ingredients that are making this up, that are blending and moving back and forth. And this is a time where there's an angel of protection. Do not worry. I'm getting, don't worry about this one that you left behind because they've got this. The Temperance is global. Remember, we saw this before. The Temperance will be there for you to transmute, and your Your friend or this one that you feel might be left behind, they will transmute on their own time frame as well. So don't let your heart be worried about that already. No, no, no. Allow them their lessons, allow them their space. Next up, November, the moon. This is coming through as very, very, very literal moon. I don't know if it's harvest moon, hunter's moon, but it's coming as moon. This is coming in as a literal Larry. It's not the traditional tarot meaning that's coming in. You've been the lone wolf. You know when to be in the pack, and you know when to circle the perimeter and guard. You know when to be lone. You've had the independence over here with this nine of coins, and you have the moon here. Sometimes the moon in tarot is about deception or secret or mystery, and other times it's about honoring your intuition. Honoring your intuition is what you need to understand. You need to understand the cycles of the moon. Every moon I would check out, but particularly every 2 months, you need to check what's going on with the moon and what's going on with your intuition and make that sacred for yourself. It's a big deal. It's a real big deal. You need to be able to play both of the roles of the lone wolf and also the wolf that's in the pack, that works with the pack. You need to be able to do both. Anything else she needs to know on top of this? Let's take a look. Ha! Look what we get. This December is going to be tricky to allow yourself to grow. We get this on top of this. Where are we at? In December land. We came full circle back to December. It wants to remind you the nature of Capricorn, the nature of your stubbornness. It wants to remind you of the traps and the lies that the devil will tell if you believe in the devil, but how we can deceive ourselves and stay too much in our comfort zone instead of pursuing what is the new dream. The Nine of Cups. My gosh, it doesn't even get better than this. The Wish card, the hopes and dreams coming true. The star that was so associated with this. Now I want you to see where the cards have fallen. This is straight across. This is the core of it, and this is straight across. So we've got month 3 and 9 here, December here, June here, okay? That's what we've got. So straight across here. This is what you're in the thick of. This is what's happening for you. That's the year ahead for you. Don't let it freak you out that the Capricorn nature is part of your nature. It's just part of your nature. But when you're ready for the new dream, and you will be well and thoroughly, truly ready by January to honor the dream that is the more grown-up version. We've heard the song, My Grown-Up Christmas List. This is your grown-up wish, your grown-up dream that is all about yours, what's in your heart. That's complete. And that's the Red Fairy Tarot that was there. Really quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. So, yeah, and the wolves, whenever I see the wolves, I will reference this book, The Women Who Run with the Wolves book. And it may or may not be relevant for you, but it's by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and it's a beautiful one. Lots of lore and legends and interesting stuff in there. So if you get a chance to listen to some of that or pick that up a little bit, it might be something that is even more profound in there. Yeah, check out the Skeleton Woman story. That might be really helpful to you. Okay. All right, I'm getting some water. Then I'm going to get the Singer spray, and then I'll do whatever is the next read. Brenda and then Julie. Okay. Okay, guys. Gotta do it. Sorry. Okay. Good for the cords. All right. Brenda, a mini. Okay. Brenda, do you have a distinct question? I'm seeing the payment here, but I'm not seeing your question. So if you have a distinct question, that would be great. So let me, I was going to drink some water, but I don't want to do that after that spray. So, work. Okay, Brenda, you got it. 1 second. Okay, all right. We're going to the Land of Story cards for you. We're going for a mini. We're going to go and set it up kind of like the Australian 10, which is from this gal Ellie that reads, and she sets out the Celtic cross in the 10. So we're setting it out this way, and if we need clarifiers, we'll go to the same deck, second deck. For work for Brenda, what's going on? You've been down this path before. You survived something that was tricky like this before. There was something that feels like not quite a battle, but a trial, a challenge that you've done this before, and it feels like you're getting the same lesson again. It's not going to kill you, but it's going to be a challenging and a little bit vexing one. Oh, yeah, a little bit vexing indeed. Oh, okay. Sweetie, you've got this Ace of Cups, this new opportunity for spiritual growth, and you're really excited about something and spiritual growth, emotional growth. The challenging card, the crossing card, is this Ten of Swords. It feels almost like a betrayal or too painful to step into this growth. Now, this is not surprising at the end of the year. It's not surprising with the energy as crazy as it is to see this. I want you to be able to see these cards pretty well. I hope you can. I hope you can. All right. So this is what this is. Now, what we have in the conscious and subconscious thoughts here. We have the Five of Coins, feeling like you're separated out in the cold, like you're looking in and missing all the good opportunities. Usually we see these guys outside the church, but this feels like outside the pie shop. It feels like you're missing out on all the sweet stuff. And then subconsciously, you know you've been gifted a lot of things, but there feels like an opportunity that you feel like you should be getting. It almost has the feeling of like you should be getting a promotion, but you haven't gotten it yet and you want it yet. And it's to the point where if you don't get this promotion, you might be ready or feeling like you need to walk. There's insight and wisdom, and you need to ask the deeper question how this work that you're doing currently serves your need. High Priestess in the house. This is where you need to ask a deeper, wiser question and ask what it is you really need. The energy around you now, the Knight of Cups, you need to ride the white horse for yourself. Just because you've been doing a thing and you do it great and you've been doing it for a long time doesn't mean it's the right work for you. It doesn't mean that it fulfills your sense of purpose. This is what's coming through also. I want to look in this second deck for a minute. It feels like your sense of purpose has felt like a little less than full. It feels like there's been a little bit of apathy. Like, is this all I was meant for? You're meant for bigger things is definitely true. There is more than what you are doing. These two are coming up. The Chariot and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, this feeling stuck, this feeling a little bit of stagnance, feeling the limited thinking. It's like you might be perfectly great at being a nurse or being a dentist or being an accountant, but maybe you don't want to be that anymore. Maybe it's time you grow into something else that helps balance your soul. And this is a divine pull towards the momentum. The spiritual focus needs to be there before you move forward. This is wanting to move forward, but think about this as if it's the car. It needs to be checked out before you go on a long road trip, right? You need to make sure everything's mechanically sound. This is the vehicle. There's a new vehicle being offered for you to move forward in your work. Now let's see what else is going on. I want to flip it back down to the original cards. It feels like there's a new vehicle entirely coming through. If you got passed up for the promotion or if it hasn't come yet and you feel like your purpose is changing, it's because you are meant to be changing right now. This Eight of Wands, the universe has had something in alignment, ducks in a row. You feel like you had all your qualifications met, everything, ducks in a row, ducks in a row, ducks in a row. The change didn't happen just yet. Then here in the near future is the Nine of Cups. It's the wish. It's what you wish for. And look, you can feel overly smug and sitting there for overly long with all these cups, but no one to share what the gifts are. Feels like he's having a good think. Yeah, he's achieved a lot. Yeah, the success has been big. But there's death here, death and transformation. Caterpillar can't be caterpillar anymore, right? Time for Phoenix to burn down the nest. It gives you huge anxiety. Oh, my. Huge anxiety, but the epiphany is here. Now, this is the Nine of Swords. You see the swords here. Now, why do I like the Nine of Swords? Because it's not as dramatic as the Tower. It gives us those aha moments, those restless nights, those, oh, what do I do? What do I do? But it's like, if we ignore the Nine of Swords too long, then the universe will throw us a curveball, throw in something. Or sometimes we just sense something's coming down the pike and the universe is going to throw something in. And it's not a penalty point. It's just a change. It's like you are already sensing this. I think your job and your work is going to be changing. I think you are desiring more fulfillment. Something that is more honoring to your soul is what I'm getting that wants to come through. Let's see what else is coming through here. Now, am I telling you to tell the boss, suck it, bye-bye? No. I'm telling you, be aware of what your soul is calling you towards because it will become louder and louder and louder. You won't be able to deny it. You might as well know that if you're getting these epiphanies in the dream space now, if the High Priestess is trying to lead you to something that is more of your heart's desire, more of your wish, that is more fulfilling, offer a new cup, a new opportunity to grow the spirit, then it's not going to be stopped. If spirit wants you to grow in a new direction, it's going to happen. We've got the Nine of Wands. And then we have the Four of Wands. How beautiful. The 9 you have to go through first. Now, usually you see this and it's like the wounded soldier. But this is the 9. And she's turned the 9 wands. Instead of having a complete standing all in a row fence, she has like a garden trellis where she could actually have things, fruits come up on it really strongly. And then the Four of Wands. There's a synchronicity coming in here. Now, this is usually also a card of spring. It's a card of weddings, graduations, births. A card of spring. There's something that's changing, and that spring energy wants to arrive early for you. It's like standing on the threshold of a doorway and being ready to step through. Make your heart ready for this new purpose to shift, because it will be happening. And there's a synchronistic timing on this. You've defended and held your own long enough that now you can garden really well. You can set up and bring fruits of your labor in a new way. This is what's coming up for you. It doesn't feel like you're waiting until April at all. Spring is coming in early for you. Some good news is coming your way. It feels like the end of February going into March. Just before the Aries season, just before March 5th, yeah? That's what it feels like. That feels complete. That's what I've got. I hope that helps. Yeah. That's fabulous. Hey. Yeah, that feels really fabulous to me. I love that for you. Okay. Julie. Yeah, hopefully that made sense to her. For Julie, what's next? Okay. Last call. Yes, you're welcome, Brenda. You are so welcome. Good luck on that. And don't let frustration enter in. If you've just got change on the horizon, you've got change on the horizon. Okay, Tess. Hi. Julie, full. Julie for a full. Was there a specific question with that? Full is for Sister Julie. Okay, I'm seeing this now. Thanks, Vika. All right. Full is for Sister Julie. She'd like to know who her spirit guides are and what they're helping her with. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. I don't know why we're going to this deck, but this is where we're going. It's such a goofy name. It's called Witchy Magic Tarot. And we're going to this. It's got kind of like a cartoony look to it, but don't underestimate the cute. Okay, we're going to Witchy Magic Tarot first to see what's going on. We're going to the Golden Wheel also. There's something about the connection with Kuan Yin. I don't know what that's about. We're going to that. I don't know. Okay. All right, Witchy Magic. Let's see what's going on. Something about the Empress coming in quite strongly. All right. There's 3 women coming through. I'm going to flip this down so you can see. Sorry. All right, there we go. 3 women are coming through. There's Kuan Yin, the Empress, and there's somebody else, and I'm not sure who that is. We might see this in the other. The Empress is coming through. Now, this card says Judgment, but what is coming through is the Empress. And when she knows damn well what she wants, this is the card of be true to yourself, be true to yourself. The Empress energy is coming through. We frequently see the Empress, and we see the very pregnant Empress. This is coming through as Judgment, as being very, very clear and aware of what you need to have, what you need to take. This is the lesson the Empress wants to ask her to be very more aware of. The Empress archetype will be working through. It doesn't matter if she calls her the Empress or if she calls her Queenie, but that's the archetype that's coming through. The Kuan Yin archetype coming through also. It's a much more gentle one. You got the 6 of Swords here. This is where you're leaving the rough waters for the smooth. You're leaving a rough relationship, difficult waters, stuff that's turbulent and harsh sometimes. This is where Kuan Yin wants to enter in and help. There's the Graceful Dancer, the Graceful Dancer. There is an oracle called the Kuan Yin Oracle. It would be one that she would want to work with. It'd be very healing energies. There may be even more in that. I'm not sure why that is. Why are we getting this? I'm totally baffled at this next card. We're getting 10 of Pentacles and I'm getting squirrel energy. What is this? Why is there a squirrel energy? Because the 10 of Pentacles, this is stacking up layer and layer and layer. The universe is giving her a head start, but it's stacking up layer and layer and layer. You got the 6 here, the universe giving a gift. Kuan Yin and the Empress she needs to focus on first. Then she needs to look for squirrels. The animal squirrel is like a spirit animal. It's coming through more as animal than guide. Who would be the squirrel woman? I don't know. Am I allowed to know? We're going to the Calendara Tarot. This squirrel is like, it's like a black squirrel, not a brown squirrel. It's a black squirrel. And there's something about the stinky walnut tree. Walnut trees sometimes smell really weird. There's something about this. She needs to be looking for what this is. I'm not sure what this is about. The black squirrel. The Temperance Angel is coming through. Now look at this. She's got the black wing and the white wing. She doesn't come through as just one or the other. This one she's going to show up like, if your sister starts seeing squirrels all of a sudden, I would not be surprised. She's also going to show up in contrast ways. She's got the black butterflies on here, but what she wants you to notice is the black and white. And she wants you to notice the difference of the darker side. This is a Kali. Your sister is working more with the goddesses than with the actual guides right now. These are the archetypes to work with right now. The guides, look for the squirrel, look for Kali. There's something that needs destructive. There's also shadow energy. And it's important to get rid of things that don't serve. I'm getting Kali when I see this. Now that's a totally different look at Kali, the goddess Kali, with the many arms and ready to destroy everything. And when the mad needs to be mad, it's mad. So she's getting deities more than she's getting names of specific guides. The Empress archetype comes in as Queenie. That might be closest to a guide, but that's what I get that she's working with. There's also this something about this contrast in the black squirrel. And also she needs to study the story of the black swan so she can do some shadow work and destructive work. Sometimes there has to be a willingness to understand what our point is, what our price point is, where it is we sell ourselves short, or where it is we sell ourselves out. A good homework book for her is Carolyn Miss Hermes, and it's the Sacred Contracts book. It will help her understand some of the things that have felt a little upside down in her world. Sometimes we make commitments before we get to the planet. It's my belief, and it's addressed in this book, and I think there's some truth in this. We make some agreements before we come here to do certain things and help each other learn certain things. So if somebody's going to come and teach forgiveness to somebody else, and we're like, yeah, that sounds great up here before we get to Earth, we come down to Earth, and it's like, that person was a real asshole. So it's hard to learn the forgiveness lesson because it feels a little upside down. But this is why she needs the contrast. Anything else? I want to go a little bit deeper and see what's going on. We're going to go into the Calendara for a little bit deeper. What does she need to focus on for the next month? Next month. Why was it important to see it in these 3 different ways? You're getting the lens. You're getting the lens of cartoon. You're getting the lens of like sacred and a little bit arty, pretty frou-frou. And then you're getting something that's a little bit more easily understandable, real, equally beautiful, but a little bit darker in the mystery. It has to unfold. The mystery has to unfold. It begins unfolding. Both of you need to be aware, but Julie needs to start collecting for her altar. Whether it's, she wants to put incense or sage or something on the altar, whether it's she wants to put rose quartz or calcite, yes, honey calcite would be a good stone on her altar. Whether it is she wants to put an image of the goddess Kali or something from the Kuan Yin oracle, something that would be like that would be super helpful for her to see, for her to just have a focus point on the altar to make a connection. She should start doing that as a gift to herself now. Yeah, there needs to be, I would go and I would take these 9 cups as to represent her altar. She wishes for connection with these 3 goddesses. She needs to have 3 things that represent each one. So the Empress, Kali, and Kuan Yin. These are the 3 deities that she's working with. So these are the ones that I would have up there. So I would put 9 things on the altar to symbolize and to create connection. And they need to be something that she thinks would be appropriate and fitting. And this is something that she can start doing now as a way of connecting and letting those in. It's like setting a table for a guest. It's like setting the table for the deities to be a little more present in her realm so that connection can get a little bit stronger. So it's not just a simple written invitation, which also does a really good trick. It works the trick. It's a little bit of magic in itself. And if she wants to do that, great. But that's what's coming through. She needs to set up a little, it can be the size of a placemat. It could be whatever size she feels is appropriate. But this is what you're sending to the deities to let them know that you're taking this spiritual connection and the desire to connect more seriously. Chat saying squirrel is trust, preparation, and foresight. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. That's what I've got for her. This feels very much, usually it's like a ton of cards, ton of cards, ton of cards. This feels very much overload, overload, overload. This is big for her. It's plenty, plenty, plenty. And she will go from the 6 to the 9. Excuse me, the 6 to the 10. Yeah, it's going to stack, stack, stack. Thank you, says Julie. Sure thing, honey. Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, it's very, very beautiful energy that's coming in here. And let your lens see it however it sees it. So if you see something in a cartoon story, if you see something in real life, if you see something in nature, whatever it is, you're opening up to different ways of seeing. It's not going to look a certain particular way. Be receptive. Allow yourself to see where Spirit wants to lead you. So the simple way, go with the flow. Go with Spirit. Go with and go into. So that's what I've got on that. Okay. That feels super complete. That was a little bit of a different kind of wild one. But yeah. What are they helping her with? Let's take a look. We can look at that. I want to go to the second Calendar deck. This is another book that I've read that I would recommend. It's called The Way of the Chiromancer. It's how that you can walk through airports and see synchronicity and signs. How you're so in tune that you can't hardly miss it. It's like the universe is trying to give neon signs a little bigger for her. So they're helping her with seeing and sign recognition. Let's see what else is going on. There's also a letting go. We're talking about that cell point again. The Empress is coming through here in case she needs to see a little more clearly. The Empress energy is coming through here. She needs to be her own hero and be questing for the Grail for herself. This is her quest. This is her spiritual quest, her spiritual journey. And it needs to be what she is going through, what she is willing to go through. How deep she's willing to look at her own shadow side and how deep that you want to look at your own gifts. You need to offer up, offer up, offer up. You're questing for the Grail. And the work that you put in. Now, sometimes we think spiritual gifts, spiritual lessons, spiritual activation, yay, love and light and all that. Let me tell you, it feels like you're just shy of a High Priestess year, and the High Priestess year is a tricky year and a half. So it feels like you're doing the preliminary work for that, Julie. The High Priestess year and a half, you'll get almost like chapters on bookends and a lot of spiritual stuff going on, but it's a hell of a year. It's difficult. It's hard because you're doing work with your shadow side. When you talk about your cell point, it's going to be 8 different things, 8 different recognitions of lessons, and the things that come second nature to you or the things that make you reactive or triggered. Why do they do that? Why do they come second nature? Why are they reactive? Why is the work not working for you? The cell point, what are you willing to do? This is going to require a different level of accountability for you in what you're doing, and what is the trade-off we get. Like the trade-off I get for not going walking today and not going and exercising is I get to be in here. But there's also a trade-off that I might not burn calories if I were looking to lose weight, which I'm not right now. But if I were, it might be smart for me to get my ass out of the chair, go in the sun, and go do some walking. If I'm not willing to do that and I'm accountable and I say, no, it was more important for me to be here. This is where I wanted to be. And I guess the weight loss isn't the priority today. It's getting real, real honest with yourself in that way. All right, what else do we got here? Yeah, the moving on from something is going to be some of the painful lessons that need to be let go of. You've survived some painful lessons, but the work now is to look at how you move on to the new day, how you move on to the sun's coming up, whether you like it or not. The work that hasn't been working, the things that haven't been working in your life that are second nature or that trigger you, you'll have to investigate. So this is what's going on for you. It's tricky. It's difficult. And it looks like a couple of them are going to be painful. But when you get that straight up honest with yourself, nobody can take that from you. And you know damn well whether you want to go outside walking or whether you want to have your ass in the chair doing this. You know damn well what it is that is in it for you, what it is that's your sell point. What do you get out of the situation by doing it the way you have been? And what is it that you really feel like you want to change? And what is necessary for your soul to grow, to quest for the grail. This is what you know. Okay, that's complete, honey. That's beautiful. Yeah. And this one is this deck. And this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. And it's Calandra, the Michael Calandra is the name. And it's a gorgeous one. It's one that I instantly got two of because I knew I loved it. You are so welcome, Julie. So, so welcome. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I think that's it. Are we through it? I wanted to talk to Chad about the collective. Instead of doing the collective, I wanted to talk about what I got from Gogs, because he asked me the other day, what did Gogs do for Yule? Yes, Kim, yes. I'm seeing hey Ange from Kim. Sure, Chad, sure. We'll talk about it in a second. Kim, was there something else you wanted to tell me? Did I miss someone? Real quick, without looking at the clock. What time is it? Well, gosh, it feels like it's been forever. It's got to be like 1. I'm looking. 1:30. It's 1:30. Holy cow, guys. 1:30. I've been talking my head off. So sorry. I get talking. It's 1:30. Okay. 1:30. Holy cow. Okay. So the lesson from Gogs, Chad was asking the other day, what was Gogs doing for Yule? And this is what came through. And I did a meditation. It was so weird. So recently, Gogs has been doing a lot of chop wood, chop wood, chop wood. And then this is going to be like, keep in mind that Gogs comes through for me in an older period of time. So don't let your vegan little pet loving hearts get hurt by this. But what came through was Gogs was out hunting and he came home with a bunch of rabbits. Like as if almost like that there was going to be rabbit stew. And I was like asking him, why are you bringing all the rabbits? Rabbit stew. And rabbits being a huge sign of fertility. And then there was like rabbit pelts. So don't let your vegan-y critter loving hearts be hurt. This is like in a different time when hunting. Think about like 1400s, 1300s, when people needed to do this because they didn't have grocery stores, right? So I was asking him, why are you bringing all of these rabbits? And what he was showing me a time when he was older, and Mrs. Gogs inside, she would be making big amount of rabbits too. He had been gone for a long time. And he came back and brought a bunch of rabbits in. And Mrs. Gogs had missed him, been like, why are you bringing me all of these rabbits? And she's like, that's not my favorite thing. And the rabbit stew was to be made. And this was like, the rabbit stew was something that they were making. So she would have to handle the rabbits how they would need to be appropriately handled. And he said, save the pelts, save the pelts, save the pelts. So he was telling her to save the pelts. And she doesn't like that necessarily, but okay, fine. And you would think for warmth and in Nordic type of climates, yes, it'd be necessary. And I'm like halfway grossed out as Gogs is sharing this and showing this. And then the pelts all together were made into a blanket. And then what was happening was that the daughter was coming forward with a granddaughter. So what happens is he was preparing to surprise Mrs. Gogs, and he knew the granddaughter was coming, and the daughter was coming, and the granddaughter was coming. And he knew, and it's like this, he's preparing for the Empress to enter. This is what he's telling me. This is a season of Yule, preparing for the Empress to enter, preparing for the divine feminine, honoring the gifts, the nourishment that would be necessary, having the foresight to get the extra rabbits when they needed to get them, to do the extra hunting, to do the extra preparation. His wife willing to make whatever it is that is the necessary thing. And then the blanket that comes out of the pelts to keep the mama warm. This is what was going on in that particular Yule. And it was a reminder of this because we need to keep ourselves nourished, very nourished. We need to keep ourselves warm and cozy, our hearts warm and open to unusual circumstance, and to be welcoming the Empress coming in. It was really, really gross and beautiful all at the same time. And every once in a while, we have the hair winter. Every once in a while, we have the hardship winter. And this is what was going on. It was a very, very hardship winter that he showed. But whenever there was the Yule celebration, it was definitely the winter, and the cold was felt. And this was a case where he wanted us to be shown and to be aware of how we can shore things up for ourselves, shore things up for our divine feminine selves, honor the women, and honor what's coming forward and what's to be birthed in the next year. This is what he wanted us aware of, and that was the Yule thing that came through. And yeah, Chad, it was a little bit much because those rabbit pelts, I mean, I will knit and I'll use wool and I'll do knitting and crocheting and make blankets that way, but holy smokes, but that's what came through. And then I checked into, where is it? This one. This one has it in one of the cards. There it is. This one came up. And it's almost like this. This one's out in the cold, but they were actually preparing. And this was the closest thing that came to mind. And I had to go hunt the deck and see what it is. And it's all these rabbits. In this particular one, it's the Six of Boons. It's the good luck, the gift that the rabbits are trying to give this person to keep them warm. So this is what was coming on. But that's what was coming up. Yeah. You had a vision about rabbits recently, Smiling Possum. Yeah. They're a sign of fertility. They're a sign of abundance. They're a sign of growth. They're a sign of spring. They are a sign of all of that. And what he was doing was very pragmatic, man. Super pragmatic. That's what he had easy access to. Yeah. So judging from our modern vegan-y standards and, don't get fur coat standards is preposterous to that kind of era when he comes in. He's doing what was practical, looking out for our family, looking out for our community, offering the warm blanket to those that need warm blanket, offering the soup that needs to be offered to those that are, while at the same time expecting this new baby, this birthing of something new, and the Empress and the divine feminine coming through. It was beautiful, but that's what came through. So I told you I would work on this weekend. I told you this last weekend I would ask him. Boy, howdy, did he give me a lot. So yeah, that's what came through, guys. So there you have it. And I did not journal it because it just came through so visual. And it's like, okay, when Chad's here, I need to let him know. But yeah, that's what I got. The vision about rabbits, pay attention. That's abundance. That's being prolific at something. That's something that multiplies a lot. It might be a time for manifesting, Smiling. So be aware of that. You just saw the one. Appeared a second one, and then it turned into a literal pile of rabbits. Yeah. Be very aware. Something is coming in abundance when you see that. When rabbits show up, that's a sign of abundance and usually a sign of spring. But this is what we are to be reminded of right now. So that's what I got. So I think I'm going to let my voice rest and grab myself some lunch. I love doing this. I will see you guys on Wednesday at 11. I'm planning on being here Wednesday at 11. So that's what's going on. And hopefully we'll see you there. We'll do this all again. This was a beautiful, beautiful day. You were awake and you were so confused. Yeah. Smiling. If you get something that's like a visual and you're awake, just take it as the divine trying to give you a heads up, like a post-it note to you and a notice. And you might see it again later. Don't let it startle you too much. Everybody, thank you again. Have a wonderful day. Mwah. Big love, big hugs to you all. Have a happy day. Take care.